I see that you have a lot of animated horror stuff in your background. Have you ever thought about wearing a mask?
Oh, I've worn masks before. Yeah,
Really?
when I did my American tradition gimmick, which I had a lot of fun with that. To be honest, I really enjoyed that. And then me and my partner Stephen Idle, shout out to the Pitbull. Um, we were the American Pitbulls, and man, we had a lot of fun together. But yeah, I used to wear. As a matter of fact, I just saw a movie. I can't remember what else off the top of my head, but the guy was wearing the paintball mask. It was the legit one that I used to wear, but it was like red, white, and blue. It looked like a mask that they'd wear on like Call of Duty Ghost or something like that.
Gotcha.
Um, and then I wore another one. I can't remember what it was, but as far as like a hood, like to wrestle in, there's a somewhere in the annals of wrestling in the Carolinas. There used to be a little company called CCWF, which was the Carolina Championship Wrestling Federation, that was started by me and a bunch of buddies before we even knew what the hell we were doing. Just to be honest, like we were just a bunch of kids, and we were able to get a ring, and we rented a building. But I mean, we drew money. We drew 200-300 people every show. We run 6 shows. Never lost any money. I mean, it was fun. And I used to go under the hood as Luchador Fantastico. So if you can find any footage on that, good luck. But it's probably out there somewhere. That was a lot of fun too.
You said
Because I got just to be a
Luchador
completely different,
Fantastico?
ridiculous. What's that?
You said Luchador Fantastico?
Luchador Fantastico, which I think translates to the Fantastic Wrestler, maybe. I don't know. That's what I came up with. It was so bad. I had a T-shirt with I had a Hispanic flag or whatever stitched onto it. It was literally a Rey Mysterio mask. Hell, it's probably one I bought from George South years ago. If I'm being honest, at an old wrestling show. It was white and it had the red with the red diamond. Oh, it was so bad. Kids loved it, but like I said, we didn't know what the hell we were doing back then. Like I didn't know anything about respect or marking out or any of that stuff. So, and that's the one thing I will say. Before you know about all that kind of stuff and all the etiquette, it's just fun. And then it gets to that point where it's like you're walking on eggshells because you don't know, oh, I can't say this, I can't do this. I better go around and shake everybody's hand. I need to do this. And then it's like you get the overthinking stuff. And then it even got to a point in my career where I tried so hard. Like I thought that I could go out with a guy and have like a good, like Roosevelt, have a good 10, 12 minute solid match, hit every single spot. We put it online. It's going to go viral. We're going to be the next like CM Punk and Colt Cabana, when they did their whole tape trading thing. And that's how they got signed. But it doesn't work that way. So I would beat myself up if, like I said, the match went 99% well, but I blew that one spot. I would be thinking the whole time, if only we'd hit every spot, if only we'd have done it perfect, then, it would blow up. It just, I was misinformed, I guess. I was a little delusional maybe back in those days. But yeah, boy, I got off on a rant on that. I'm bad for that, y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good, man.
But yeah,
What's something
I
that
would
you
work under a hood. Here's a quick fun story though with the hood. Actually, so Dax Harwood back when he was in the Indies was KC McKnight, and we did a show in Wallace. Matter of fact, where I'm living at now. It's crazy, full circle. And it was a luchador show, right? So the promoter called me and was like, "Hey, I want you to do your Luchador Fantastico thing." Now this is after I was already in the business of showing groups. And I was like, man, I don't know, because I knew about the respect and the reverence of the semblance and significance of the luchador mask. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, oh, come on, man, they're not going to care. Now, this was the promoter. This wasn't Dax Harwood. This was the promoter and booker. And he said, oh, they just want a paycheck like you do or whatever, right? So he convinced me to do it. So I went out and said, we're going to put you in there with KC. He was heavyweight champion at the time. It was going to be a little, squash deal or whatever. He just wanted to put me under a hood. So I went out there and I did my whole ridiculous, luchador thing. And I will never forget it. The first spot of the match, he hits me with a European uppercut. And I was wearing contacts at the time before I had LASIK. And he knocked my contact into like the third row. So, like, I had to do the whole match with one contact, which was wild. But yeah. So yeah, I've had a little fun under hoods, but yeah, that was a wild situation though, because afterwards we ended up going to the local McDonald's and those guys were there, the luchadors, and they were pissed. They literally almost started a fight with me because, it's a respect thing, and I would never do something like that again. I mean, if I see a guy now on a show that's got like a Rey Mysterio or La Parka mask or something that he's about to wrestle in, I'll pull him to the side and be like, "Hey, just so you know, this is not what you're supposed to be doing." And they can listen or they can't. But I mean, I would feel bad knowing that this guy went out there and did this not knowing he weren't supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when I was introduced to you, you were the Carolina Classic, man. Can you talk about how you came out with the Carolina Classic character?
Honestly, man, it's not even characters. It's just monikers. It's just names. I thought it sounded cool. I was from Carolina. I was a classic wrestler. I thought I could do something with that, but it just never fully fleshed out, or I never gave it a chance to fully flesh out. I even had Tabby make me a robe and all that. I never had a robe in my entire career. I tried doing that for a while. It just didn't feel like me. I don't know. I mean, it was fun. It's been a journey trying to really discover like who I am as far as a person and a wrestler. But yeah, the Carolina Classic thing, I don't know. It made for cool T-shirts, stickers, but like, yeah, I don't know that it ever really caught on. I guess I'm very impatient. I don't give things a chance to catch on. I'm so afraid if I'm wasting time, then I got to pivot and go to the next thing. Or I used to be. I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah. Talk about you mentioned being part of Team Pit Bulls. What other factions or tag teams have you been involved with?
Oh wow! So it's funny because out of Tennessee now, Jeff Conley and Jeff Baker are doing a group called The Faction. And when I first got into wrestling, we were doing the CCWF thing. The little group we had was literally called The Faction. So that was the first one I was in. God, after that, let's see. What did we call ourselves? I can't even remember now. It was me, Tracy Gilbert, Dave Dawson, and Josh Hunter. And I, for the life of me, can't remember what we called ourselves. We were called a tag team. We were called Perfect Creation. But I don't remember what the whole group was called. Yeah, Team Pitbull. Well, the American Pitbulls was first. And then actually Baron Bullard came to me and was like, hey, what do y'all think about forming a group together? Because he's the Pembroke Pitbull. We were the American Pitbulls. We'll just be Team Pitbull. So that's kind of how all that came about. I think that's it. I don't know. It's weird because I've been doing this for so long. And I know there's a lot of guys that have better memories than I do, and they can remember certain matches and where they were at. And this, I can't. Maybe it's the concussions. I don't know. I've had quite a few concussions. I mean, yeah.
Talk about that for a second. Talk about the injuries that you sustained in your professional career.
Jeez. Well, let's see. I'll go back to the first one I sustained, which was in the backyard. I know we're not supposed to talk about backyard wrestling, but we started there. I mean, we didn't do nothing crazy, although we did use stop signs. So I had a guy in the corner. I put a stop sign on his face. I was on the other side of the ring. I took off running to drop kick it. He decided, I don't want to do this. Took the stop sign, threw it like a Frisbee right into my shin. Gashed it. It actually bounced off my bone. So that was the first. I had to get stitches for that. I got power bombed through a sheet of pinball glass. That was fun. I have a scar on my right wrist from that because it's the glass, they put in the pinball games. And so we had a sheet on 2 trash cans, and nobody had told me that it was that glass that explodes on impact. So it's not like shards and it'll really cut you and mess you up. So when he power bombed me on it, I mean, it made for a great visual. If I could ever track down the video, I'll send you a copy. It made for a great visual. But when it exploded, it literally went into my arm like somebody had shot me with glass. Yeah, so that was the second one. Numerous concussions. I can't tell you how many at this point. Let's see. Broken thumb, torn ligaments in this thumb, broken collarbone, cracked orbital bone, broke my nose twice, torn ACL and meniscus. Currently dealing with a grade 2, AC joint sprain, they call it, but it's a complete tear.
Grade 3.
Is it grade 3? I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, I'll even show it to you. Look, it's great. Look, isn't that pretty?
Good.
Yep, isn't that pretty right there? So yeah, my collarbone